Hello, and welcome to our video.
About Sherlock, A Study in Pink. The BBC version of Sherlock. So,
let's start off with number one, obviously.
Yeah.
The world.
the world.
Which is values, people, events that would prevent the hero from starting his journey, la-de-la.
And in this version of Sherlock, that would be everyone, since Sherlock is hated by just about everyone, besides Watson.
Well, not everyone would be his world. His world would be London, and then the people in his world would all hate him.
In London.
His environment is very hateful.
Yeah, except for the landlady who's like his mom, and then the police commissioner who kind of uses him.
He's spiteful.
Well, not necessarily spiteful. He just kind of doesn't really like having him around. I don't think he likes having someone do his job better.
He's spiteful that he's doing. Yeah, that's why he's spiteful.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so,
yeah.
Hello, freak.
I'm here to see Detective Inspector Lestrade.
Why?
I was invited.
Why?
I think he wants me to take a look.
Well, you know what I think, don't you?
Always, Sally. You know you didn't make it home last night.
Who's this?
Colleague of mine, Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson, Sergeant Sally Donovan. Old friend.
A colleague? How do you get a colleague? Did he follow you home?
Would it be better if I just waited?
No.
Freak's here, bringing him in.
Ah, Anderson. Here we are again.
It's a crime scene. I don't want it contaminated. Are we clear on that?
Quite clear. And is your wife away for long?
Oh, don't pretend you worked that out. Somebody told you that.
Your deodorant told me that.
My deodorant.
It's for men.
Well, of course it's for men. I'm wearing it.
So, Sergeant Donovan. Ooh, I think it just vaporized. May I go in?
Now, look, whatever you're trying to imply...
I'm not implying anything. I'm sure Sally came round for a nice little chat and just happened to stay over. And I assume she scrubbed your floors, going by the state of her knees.
I don't think it says elements about the world in need of reform. It's not really that they need reformed except to Sherlock.
Because he thinks that the world is too boring and stupid. And
Which it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
He really wishes that the people in the world and the world itself would be more interesting and more intelligent, kind of like him.
And not just in general, more like Sherlock, Sherlockian.
Okay.
The birth, number 2.
All right. So we have established, or we can assume, that Sherlock was,
Born normally.
born. Yes, that happened. So what makes him special, though, is not his birth. It's what he has, which is, I guess, his golden seed, which
brain.
is his brain, which, it's his ability to process information very in really...
Just think in a very unique way that allows him to solve crimes better and just be, in general, a better deducer than other people.
Got anything?
Not much.
She's German. Rache. It's German for revenge. She could be trying to tell us
Yes,
something.
thank you for your input.
is...
The hero's destiny delivered by a herald. Not a person named Harold, but like the thing, a herald.
So the herald in this case would likely be the police commissioner, and the call would be when Sherlock, when the police commissioner comes to his flat and says, "We need you to help us out here."
I wish we would have called him so he could have been both.
It could have been an actual call. Yes,
That would have been fun.
it would have been, but no. So that was his call.
Yeah, when he tells Sherlock to come to the suicides, which actually end up being a serial killer.
Well, they figured out that 4 suicides
is shitty. That's why they went to Sherlock. That's why they went to Sherlock.
Well, they went to him because they couldn't figure anything else out.
Yeah, and he was really happy about being called out of the world.
What about these suicides then, Sherlock? Thought that'd be right up your street. 3 exactly the same.
4. There's been a 4th. There's something different this time.
A 4th?
Where?
Brixton, Lauriston Gardens.
What's new about this one? You wouldn't have come to get me if there wasn't something different.
You know how they never leave notes?
Yeah.
This one did. Will you come?
Who's on forensics?
It's Anderson.
Anderson won't work with me.
Well, he won't be your assistant.
I need an assistant.
Will you come?
Not in a police car. I'll be right behind.
Thank you.
Brilliant! Yes! 4 serial suicides and now a note. It's Christmas. Mrs. Hudson, I'll be late. Might need some food.
I'm your landlady, dear, not your housekeeper.
Something cold will do. John, have a cup of tea. Make yourself at home. Don't wait up.
Supernatural aid. So the supernatural aid is pretty much just Watson.
Yeah, he has no one else. It's like his supernatural aid really narrows down to Watson or Watson.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I'd say that. I mean, Minecraft.
Yeah.
It definitely is not going to be super. He's kind of like the
Minecraft is brother, by the way.
Yes. When you first meet him, you kind of think he's the enemy, the bad guy,
Moriarty,
but you don't figure out till much later that he's actually his brother.
No, you figure out like instantly.
Do you?
Yes, it's literally the next scene.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Sherlock talks about how he and his brother don't get along. Yeah, they kind of compete for their mothers of love. Anyway, moving right along to the road of trials. The road of trials is
really just the trials of the case that you can actually you can just logically in your mind associate them to a road. Mm-hmm. So it is literally a metaphorical road of trials. It's literally metaphorical.
It's a path of clues that he follows to get to the criminal who's leaving the clues.
Yeah.
Not intentionally leaving the clues. But yes.
Well, yeah.
Well, the only intentional thing he does is when he comes
to Sherlock and like, hey.
But that's because he's figured everything else out, and he's kind of like,
grab some dinner.
I think it was a little bit less. Let's grab some dinner and
let's by dinner I mean cyanide pills or some more lethal poison actually.
So the belly of the whale would probably be
well that he has for dinner with the serial killer. Oh, sorry.
Belly of the whale would probably be when Sherlock is confronting the serial killer and plays the serial killer's game, the game of chance.
The chance death game with the fake gun.
Oh yeah, with
a lighter
gun.
I want
lighter
one.
gun, which is cool.
Best way to smoke a cigarette.
That's tasty lung cancer.
Imagine if you robbed a bank and then after you got out of the bank, like as you were leaving the door, you just took out a cigarette. Oh, it wasn't real good. Everyone's like, what? Anyway, so back to the belly of the whale.
Yes. So
it's when he realizes that he's kind of
he's a little afraid because he doesn't know the answer.
He doesn't. That's why
he knows that he's not in any real danger because he realized that the gun's not real. That the serial killer was.
But the pills are
him. Well, the serial killer was holding him at gunpoint, saying, "Take the pill or I shoot you." And Sherlock was like, "Well, that's not a real gun, so I win."
As you'll see in this clip.
No, it's not in the clip. No, it's not.
Well, I'm sorry for misleading him.
But he's like, well, then I'm just gonna walk away. But then the serial killer's like, then you won't know the answer.
And that's what scares him.
That's
not being able to quantifiably deduce something.
I'll take whatever pill you don't. Didn't expect that, did you, Mr. Holmes?
This is what you did to the rest of them. You gave them a choice.
And now I'm giving you one. You take your time. Get yourself together. I want your best game.
It's not a game, it's chance.
I've played 4 times. I'm alive. It's not chance, Mr. Holmes, it's chess. It's a game of chess with one move and one survivor. And this is the move. Did I just give you the good bottle or the bad bottle? You can choose either one.
So
Apotheosis, moving right along.
Insight gained along the way, which is that he can't do everything. He needs help, and Watson just so happens to be that help.
Yeah, he just so happens to be in the next building with a gun.
Anything at all to stop being bored. You're not bored now, are you?
So the ultimate insight of the hero's journey, destiny, purpose is that he needs to solve crimes. Well, that's obvious,
Yeah, we
but
could tell.
he can't keep being the whole, like, doing it by himself.
He needs a dynamic duo.
He needs a little bit of social.
A Robin
in his
to his
life.
Batman, a short round to his Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So they're not awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, the boon. This is where it's pretty similar to the Apotheosis, except it's more like the physical event or thing he gets.
And that's when he starts telling the police commissioner who he thought was the one who killed the serial killer, and quickly realizes the one who killed the serial killer
was a Watson.
Was actually Watson, and he decides that he's going to go against go against the
deducing
law.
And
yes,
telling the officer like he normally would, just being all smart self, but he decides he would just let Watson go because he needs Watson.
He decides to protect him because Watson is his friend. And we see that through the shock blanket. I
want a shock blanket.
I think
now.
that right there is the best way to describe the physical manifestation of their friendship is a blanket that you give someone who's in shock.
I feel like I could use that to get out of tests. I can't take a test. I'm in shock. See, in shock. Got my blanket.
Got your blanket?
Yeah. As you'll watch the video.
Why have I got this blanket? They keep putting this blanket on me.
Yeah, it's for shock.
I'm not in shock.
Yeah, but some of the guys want to take photographs.
So the shooter, no sign?
Cleared off before we got here. But a guy like that would have had enemies, I suppose. One of them could have been following him, but got nothing to go on.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, give me.
The bullet they just dug out of the walls from a handgun. Kill shot over that distance from that kind of a weapon, that's a crack shot you're looking for, but not just a marksman. A fighter, his hands couldn't have shaken the tools, so clearly he's acclimatized to violence. He didn't fire until I was in immediate danger, though. It's a strong moral principle. You're looking for a man probably with a history of military service and nerves of steel. Actually, do you know what? Ignore me.
Sorry?
Ignore all of that. It's just the shock talking.
Where are you going?
I just need to talk about the rent.
Yeah, I've still got questions
What
for you.
now? I'm in shock. Look, I've got a blanket.
Sherlock?
And I just caught you a serial killer.
This has been a great time talking to you all. I wish we had more time, honestly. But we don't. Mrs. Haffley doesn't have long enough to watch 45 minutes for every single person. Will
keeps complaining that we kidnapped him and he wants to go home.
It's true, but you don't need to complain about it. We fed you meatballs. Delicious meatballs.
Asked the meatballs. They were just there.
You didn't ask for any of the
Well, you ate them, so...
Okay, anyways.
We're done. Goodbye.
Bye.
Click.